Got such a great afternoon lined up for you. I'm so excited for some of the things that are coming up. How was lunch, by the way? Yeah. Good, huh? Don't you love surprises, though? Like, seriously. I like giving them, you know, it's so fun. It just adds a cool element to it. So, I'd like to have a little discussion with you guys about the intro. Now, I have been to a lot of events, and I've facilitated a lot of events, and I have come to believe that the first 2 hours are extraordinarily important. You know, like, I don't know about you, but I've been to events where I've basically turned off after the first 2 hours. You know, like, they've had to work to get me back, and oftentimes they don't. You know, it's like right from the very beginning, if I'm not impressed, inspired, engaged, then I don't stay plugged in. You lose people from the very beginning. It's like, you know, when they say in marketing, what's the most important thing for you to create first is your hook, right? You create your hook to draw people in. So of your event, your intro is like your hook, right? So let's have an open dialogue. I'd like to share with you what were the pieces that went into that so we can bring some awareness to it. So that's something that we'll do pretty often here. We'll have an experience together, and then we'll take some time to reflect on it so that you can really get it and see it. I found that's the greatest way of really creating learning, is to feel it and experience it and then understand what happened into it. What was something that you noticed that you particularly liked about the introduction? So what was something that you were like, wow, that struck a chord with me, or that made me feel something, or something of that nature?
Your song. Starting off the event with the guitar, simple, quiet, heartfelt, and then your words. It was just really clear that you were speaking from your heart. And so when I, was able to take that in, I really received it as a gift. And that was the very first thing it said to me, okay, this is different. Mm-hmm. So that was a big learning for me.
Aha! And, I talked about this in one of the videos. There's the fractal theory, right? The first fractal, the first primary light of energy, the first primary chord of energy that you feed people into sets the precedence for everything else that you're doing. So you want to put a little bit of thought into what's the very first kind of energetic connection that we have with everybody else. Now, did anybody notice something unique before we started the event? What was it?
Outside the doors.
Did anybody notice that? Anybody know why we held you outside the doors? Create some anticipation and energy amongst the group, right? Now you guys are creating this energy together before anything ever happens, and there's like this anticipation. So then when it comes in, it's like a rush, it's like a burst, it's like this, already you guys are creating energy without me having to do anything.
I absolutely love the space. Coming in immediately, it was so authentic, and I absolutely knew this is somebody who puts everything he is into everything he does. Created instant trust for me.
Aha. Now, I'll let you guys know something. I didn't do anything in this space. This is all them. 100% the team. I can't even take a moment of credit for any of it. And so that's so awesome that you say that. And also, it's another validation that you have to be so willing to let people do what they do best and not get involved. Like when I very first brought Beth on, she's like, how do you want the space to be? And I was like, are you kidding me? This is totally not my area. Do whatever you want to do. I give you full creative control to handle anything that you want. So they created this. And that's what happens when you give people permission to do what they do best. So thank you, girls. Take that as a compliment to you guys.
Actually, I was going to say I noticed the smells, and Beth, I'm assuming it was Beth, but it was probably all of you guys. It was like some incense or some candles or something, and it just took it into a more of a like multi-sensory level, because it's one thing to just sit down in a room where you're just going to learn info, but then it's another thing to have it nicely decorated, and then yet another thing to have it be a visceral experience. So
you guys pick up on that?
Awesome.
I do. I work with Ariana personally. She's one of my coaches as well. And I have done quite a bit of speaking in my past, but when I was starting to do a lot more speaking, two things were happening. One, I was losing my voice every event I did. Every single event, by the time the event was over, I would be like, I wouldn't have a voice left. and simultaneously I would be exhausted. I don't know if you've ever felt that way, being like exhausted after you've given a talk. And Ariana is a master self-expression coach, and so I started working with her on a weekly basis. And in a matter of a few months, really, I've never lost my voice again. I have as much energy as I finished the event, sometimes more than when I did before I started, and my actual ability to have a clear expression, clear tonality improved by 1,000%, where I was able to really clearly articulate what was coming up inside of me. So if anybody feels like from an expression standpoint you could use some more support in that, I just couldn't recommend Ariana highly enough for you, so go speak to her at a break.